My name is Beverly DeLabreton, and today I would like to talk about violin bow holds. Um, there are several ways to approach how we hold the bow, and certainly my way of holding the bow is not the only way, but I'm trying to produce a more balanced hand position and bow hold where the fingers are more balanced in the way that they operate the bow. One approach would be to hold the bow with your left hand and to just drop the fingers over the bow so the two middle fingers are on the frog and the first finger is somewhere near the wrapping on the bow. The pinky will be, I like the pinky over the eye or close to the eye on the back side of the bow. The octagon shape back here on the back side of that. The middle fingers are on the frog, or the second finger might be a little bit more near the hole produced here at the frog. And the third finger would be on the eye. The thumb comes up and supports the bow rather than coming in sideways this way. We want the thumb to be the supporter of the bow, and I want the right corner of the thumb and the nail to help me hold and support the bow. I have a bent thumb that is very flexible. We don't want to lock it this way, or we don't want the banana thumb with this approach. So we're trying to get that thumb to support the bow and the fingers to just naturally fall on the bow. Then when I turn it over, the pinky is the lifter of the tip. It's very important that the pinky is secure on the top of the bow and is on the back side of the bow, and the first finger is not wrapped completely around the bow this way because this tends to cause the pinky to be straight. If I get too far forward on the bow, then this causes the wrist to be down too low. So we want to get this balance in the hand, and we want to feel like the thumb is the supporter of the bow, or the supporter of like a teeter-totter, where the first finger and the fourth finger are the teeter-totter ends that go back and forth and back and forth. Now turning the bow up this way, we feel the thumb can pinch a little bit to produce that forte sound that we want, and it can relax a little bit when we don't want to be so heavy into the string. This works along with our weight of the arm in producing a forte sound with this particular bow hold. If we're wanting to produce a less forte sound, a softer sound, of course we will not pinch as much with the thumb, and the elbow may come up a little higher so that we lift some of the weight out of the string. Now, when we start very young students, sometimes we have them put their thumb on the outside of the frog. And if we do this, we have to make sure that they're going to put their thumb in exactly the same spot and have exactly the same flexible thumb as they have when they put it inside. So I usually put a little sticker right on this part of the bow, even into the hair a little bit, so that we're making sure that that thumb is going to go right inside. After we practice this way for a while and we develop that security of holding the bow with a good bow hold, then we just sneak the thumb inside. that same posture so that this thumb is flexible. A lot of times with the beginner, we let them hold the bow for a long time with their thumb doing this, or just going anywhere on the frog. And then that is very difficult then to get the thumb to go in the right place inside of the bow. So we want to really be careful that we're getting that thumb positioned right on the frog for the beginner, and the flexibility, we want that flexibility there, and then it just moves inside. Now with beginners, even the very young, I don't want to keep the thumb in that position outside on the frog too long. Some teachers have gone a long time without putting the thumb inside, and I think this causes problems. So probably after the students have mastered Twinkle and gotten into maybe the literature up through like Aunt Rhody or some of the later pieces, then if I think the student is strong enough, I may have them go back and try their Twinkles with their thumb inside and see how that works, maybe for a lesson or two. If they have a lot of problems with it, then I may wait a little bit longer before I put the thumb back inside. But I may start out a piece at a time so that they get used to the feel of the thumb inside. And as soon as I feel like that they're pretty secure with keeping it inside and keeping it bent and flexible, then I tell them that they hold the bow the professional way now instead of the beginner way. So we call it professional. So I really like to work on that, getting it done early so the student doesn't get too set in the ways of holding the bow outside on the frog. This tip of the bow, the pinky controls the tip of the bow. We don't want to press too hard with the first finger, but if there is a trade-off. When you're playing in one part of the bow and you want to lift the tip, then there's a little more pressure there with that pinky. And when you go so that you want more power, you may be leaning more toward the front of the hand. And these fingers are important. Suzuki used to call these fingers the pianoforte fingers, that one would be helping you with the piano part and one with the forte part. It's very important that these fingers are not riding way up on top like this, or maybe like this, that they get deeper on the frog for the kind of control that you want. Then we do our up and down practice so that they feel the balance. This is a very important thing that we do with the bow, is to keep that tip and the hand moving together. Tip and the hand moving together. We do our up like a rocket and down like a rain and back and forth. The back and forth, we need to get our elbows bending more rather than swinging the whole body. Open and close here, back and forth like the choo-choo train, round and round like the great big sun. And make sure our bow hole doesn't slip. And then we put the bow on the head, and then we check our pinky and our thumb. So this is a great little exercise for the young students, and they seem to like it when they practice with their bow going up and down. And of course, we can put the bow on the shoulder, and we can practice all of our bow strokes, keeping that flexibility of the thumb and keeping our fingers secure on the bow. I like to stop sometimes when the bow hole starts to disintegrate and go back and get everything set again, and then we practice back and forth rather than letting them play a lot with the bow hole not secure and not correct. And this is my approach to how we hold the bow. Thank you.